Good evening, everyone. Good evening once again. My name is Carol Mujide, and I'm a project manager at Hive Colab. Here we have the Kahoot, as usual. We have about 20 or less questions that we've prepared for you. And the winner, the top 3, will be awarded. The question is, are you among those top 3? Are you there? You're there already? What is your name? Okay, guys, if you're having a challenge, please raise your hand. I can support. We are here at your service. You're the kings and queens. Code girl, are you there already? Please help my brother. Oh, perfect. Ha! Salongo. Hey! Salongo. Now you people, you're going to confuse us. Hassan, would you want to join us? Just go in your browser and type kahoot.it. Kahoot.it in your browser, and then you put in the game pin. If you can as well just scan what you're seeing there, the QR code. There are so many ways. If you don't like typing, you just scan the QR code. Perfect. Perfect. So tugenda tandika abemikwano. Yes? So you're giving us the yeah, you put in your nickname. Eddie has joined. Faith has disappeared. Oh yeah. Binkan. Okay. Edmund, you're there already. What's your nickname? I'll be calling you that. Revival. That guy loves his business, eh? Ojirota Vlos. Nae, Mr. Sol, babuvuze. Mr. Sol. Mr. Sol is like, it's a chiller Friday. Don't stress me. All right, so guys, we are going to count. All of us are counting from 3, 2, 1, 0, and we start. The first question: what is the primary goal of a social enterprise? Maximize profits, create a business to employ a family, achieve social or environmental impact, or focus on providing free services. What do social enterprises do? Hey. Wow, mwasoma. Those guys in red. Okay, let's see who is topping the charts. Make some noise for Nixon. Woo-hoo. Where is Nixon? What are you saying? You don't believe? No. It's the first one to be the winner, eh? Of course, as we warm up for the real winner. Make some noise for Nixon. Tamuzimba mitima. Anyway. Okay. Question 2. Which of the following is a challenge specific to scaling a social enterprise? Generating more revenue, reducing operational costs, finding customers for the product, maintaining integrity while expanding. Which one is specific to scaling? Over in a social enterprise, and the first 2 questions, you failed them. Punch yourself in the heart. Just punch here. Nixon is still topping the charts. Hey, Nixon. Over to choose the seats. Maybe he's picking answers from you. Nixon, we shall not forgive you. Question 3. What is the mission drift effect in scaling? I know the Luzungu is too much. But just answer, what's the mission drift effect in scaling? Is it shifting from a social mission to purely profit-driven? Increasing the focus on social missions? Wow. Co-founder. Bagenda kujjako gundi ezo shares. Stop winning the boss. Okay. Faith, make some noise for Faith. Okay. Faith akalulu kanji, but Nixon. You guys. Okay. Question 4. Which business model challenges social enterprises the most during rapid growth? The answers are there. Wow. Yeah, the business model that challenges social enterprises the most during rapid growth is that which combined social impact and revenue. Yes, it's not easy. Those guys who are running such kind of businesses, you're doing impact and you have to make some money at the end of it all. Yes. Okay, Faith and Nixon, chintu muchefuze. Pedal tap makes foot operated water taps. Omanyi those ones you just step on, eh? But hospitals still use hand taps. What's stopping them? They break easily. The cost of installation. Hospitals don't care. Hospitals don't see their need. You know those taps when we were in COVID, eh? Which you just step on. Yes. They are too costly. They are too costly. That's why, yes, hospitals don't really like them. Fire baby, you're rising, eh? Okay. Zente provides digital credit, but should they lend to first-time users with no repayment history? No, only lend to existing customers. Reduce loan amounts for new users. Allow flexible repayment. Yes, everyone deserves a chance. Someone has given up. Yes, it's not easy. You know, lending money is not easy. There's a lot of risk. So, I think it's best if we lend people that we already know. At least we have some history of them. Yes. Faith and Nixon. What's happening? Which of these is a misconception about social enterprises? See, grandma is disappointed. They must choose between social impact and business growth. They should be financially self-sustaining to scale. They must be smaller to focus on their mission. They can thrive on philanthropic donations alone. What's that misconception? Yes. That's wrong information they keep sharing about social enterprises. Is they always choose between social impact and business growth. The rest is true. I'm not mentioning those names. Okay. Not because guys, by the way, don't take it in bad faith. Tugenda helps border riders buy motorcycles. Should they expand to Kenya or dominate Uganda first? Expand to Kenya, sell to corporate companies, focus on Uganda first, or partner with banks? What should Tugenda do? Hey, question bwalero, eh? Yes. Why are you going to expand if you've not exhausted what is here? Hey, soko kamule chiri Uganda chigwemu. Chigwemu supu. Other people call it thupu. Yeah? Yeah. So first, exhaust whatever is here, eh? Finish it. Even Komba the Sowani, as far as generating revenue is concerned. And then you can freely go to Kenya. So for now, Tugende is still in Uganda. That's the best thing to do. And Nixon, you guys, mongere muku speed. Nixon is winning. Question 9. What can social enterprises do to mitigate mission drift as they scale? Reduce their social programs to save money, delegate mission-related decisions to investors, ignore feedback from the local community, develop clear metrics for both impact and growth goals. Yeah, they need to develop clear metrics for both impact and growth goals. Mission drift is when you overkumulamwa. Yeah? Tetwagala kuva kumulamwa. Okay? These guys. Okay. Guys, mongeremu, we have at least 6 questions. Eh? You're living, it's like you're in the wrestling and anyway. What's an example of impact washing? Washing in social enterprises. Creating social impact programs without any long-term sustainability. Implementing environmental changes without proper strategy. A company claiming social impact while only focusing on profits. Yeah. Impact washing. You know what they say? Wash money. Eh? So if you compare it to this question, if you relate it, yeah. So you're pretending, you're hiding your face. You're telling us your impact naenga, eh? Behind you only focusing on profit. I hope we don't have those companies here. Eh? Guys are quiet. Eh? Silence means yes. Okay. Next one. Okay. Why do investors sometimes hesitate to fund social enterprises? Social enterprises offer way too high return on investments. They can't scale sustainably. They don't require funding to scale. Investors are not concerned with social impact. Which is which? Why don't investors invest or fund social enterprises? Because they believe it's very hard to scale a social enterprise. That's why. And that is the main reason why we are here today. To take the baby steps with you, to take you through how you as a social enterprise founder, co-founder, employee can move that company and scale it beyond. What is a potential consequence if a social enterprise focuses too much on scaling quickly? It may become more focused on its core mission. It will achieve more market share without sacrifice. It could lose community support and dilute its impact. It might be able to scale without compromise. What happens when a social enterprise over-focuses on scaling quickly? Yes. Otandika kola, I don't know. You lose vision, you lose focus actually. Yes. And what happens when you lose your focus? People be like, eyo ababagundi abo abajja ku district bali ku byabwe munaire tukyabategeera bafumba bufumbi mmere ne tulya ne tugenda. Whatever they are doing, we don't understand. So, you don't want to dilute your impact. I think he works with one of those companies. Okay, Tugenda gives border loans, but many riders struggle with repayments. What's the best way to ensure sustainability? Should they reduce interest rates, accept partial payments indefinitely, strict repayment enforcement, or extend loan periods? What should Tugenda do? Yeah. Yes, I think that's the most correct answer. Extending a loan period will not salvage the situation. Just imagine our border, I know kusasula loan ya border in 1 year, then you tell them, I think let's give you more 2 years. It's not going to help, right? You tell them, that's not business. We are all businessmen and women here. Then reduce interest rates. When you reduce an interest rate, what is happening to you? You're not going to make profit. So the only way is make sure you are strict, and you should stick to your rules. Okay, Nixon. Man. Okay, 2 more questions. Guys, looks like you've given up. Which factor is most likely to kill a Ugandan social enterprise before it scales? Is it lack of capital, relying too much on donor funding, expanding too quickly, corruption, and bureaucracy? Which of these do you think can easily kill a social enterprise before it scales? Relying too much on donor funding. And this is what we always encourage you guys not to do in our programs. For those who've been in Hive Accelerator, by the way, if you applied for the Hive Accelerator or you landed on the call late, we extended the deadline to 6th April. If you have a business or you know someone who has a business that can benefit from this, kindly utilize that opportunity. We had YSAU, we had OFAMs, and we've always encouraged startups not to rely on funding from donors only. Si birungi. Yes, si birungi. Okay, so this is one of the major causes, reasons as to why some social enterprises die as they are trying to scale. They over-rely on donor funding. All right. So the second last question, should Wazi Vision raise prices slightly to scale faster or maintain low costs and grow slowly? You know what Wazi Vision does? Maintain low prices for slow growth, raise prices slightly, only sell in Kampala, stop producing eyeglasses. You know Wazi, what they do? They sell those glasses. Yes. Yes. They need to raise the prices. They are selling their glasses so cheaply. So cheaply. That's the only way they will be able to scale faster. Okay, I see Fire Baby Dude and Jeffrey. You're trying to climb, but this is the last question. We Farm provides farming advice via SMS, but many farmers now use WhatsApp. What should they do? Stick to SMS, offer phone calls instead, create an app, or switch fully to WhatsApp. We Farm gives a farming advice to farmers and stuff like that. This is the season, what? They need to just stick to SMS. Yeah. Just stick to the usual that you know. Taking a farmer to WhatsApp, by the time they buy bundles, really. But we have the USS code that you can subscribe in MTN and you pay. It's a one-to-many. You just pay once and you're able to send to as many farmers as you can. WhatsApp is not reliable. All right, so thank you guys for taking part in this. Allow me, make some noise for Faith, Fire Baby, and finally, make some noise. Feel free to take a snap if you want to share on your WhatsApp status. Yes, you'll be like, there are those captions you guys use. Manya weekend well spent. What? There are those Bible verses you guys use. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I made it. I was number 1. Okay, Proida, could you kindly help us with the gifts? Nixon, Faith, and Fire Baby, please come here for your gift. And I'm going to call upon Hassan. Wow. George. So you're going to help me stand here. You're going to stand here. And I wanted to take a group photo. Where is our person? Okay. How do you feel winning?
I don't feel like I won.
Yeah, Faith, Nixon, and Fire Baby. Yes?
I think first position would be better, so I don't think I won.
Oh. But Biggie.
Yes.
Biggie, how do you feel not standing here? Should we check? Okay. Thanks for that feedback. How do you feel, Nixon?
Feels lonely at the top.
You see, yafunye that caption, but it's so alone at the top. Okay. Okay. You feel okay? Just okay. All right. So, my God. Okay, let's make some noise as we hand over the gifts. The third was Faith. Faith, make some noise. And finally, Nixon. I think the photo will come later. So, okay, thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you guys for participating. Just give yourself a pat here. Just give yourself a pat. Yeah, at least you learned something. There's something like, there are words like mission drift, impact washing. Did you know these words? If you didn't, that's a point of learning. So at this point, allow me call upon my colleague, Viana Kamakune. She's going to be a moderator for the day. Can we make some noise for Viana as she comes? Viana is an investment analyst at Hive Colab. Anything money related, investment for startups, she's the right person. Yeah, she's the right person to approach. So, very knowledgeable young lady right there. Viana, she's the right person to approach. So, very knowledgeable young lady right there. Viana, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Caro, for taking us through the Kahoot session. Who are the winners? Oh, okay. So Fire Baby actually made it to the top 2. Congratulations to everyone. I will take this time to invite Hassan. Oh, you have a presentation before we get into the interview, right? You want? No, I thought the presentation will also sort of capture like some of the questions. So that they can ask all their questions after your interview. What do you think? Okay. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We are so excited to have you here. And of course, like we always say, this is your platform. Make sure you use it ably. Make sure that you make the noise about it and get to have as many people join us here today. So, today we are joined by the brilliant Hassan Senkumba from Response Innovation Lab. And of course, the topic of discussion, based on what we have, the activity that we've had on Kahoot, is social enterprises. Is it possible for these social enterprises to scale without compromising their mission? Of course, some of the things have come up during this exercise, and most of you have really answered the questions well. I'm glad that at least we have foundational knowledge on social enterprises. But we also want to hear from the expert from Response Innovation Lab. They have done so much work around social enterprises, innovations around humanitarian crises and everything. So today, I think we'll, Caro, the fly is not on, but yeah. Yes. So, starting with our question of can social enterprises, can they scale given the, can they scale and also be profitable at the same time without compromising their mission? Is that even something we should be worrying about? Is that something that happens? Are there social enterprises that have scaled and compromised their mission? Is it something we should get into right now?
Thank you so much. My name is Hassan Senkumba, and I'm the meal coordinator for Uganda Response Innovation Lab. Yeah, so back to the question. We really need to worry about this because at the end of the day, there needs to be a balance between the revenue and the impact that we are creating for social enterprises. So there needs to be really focus on these two. Once the balance is not, considered, then you'll be off your mission. Yeah, so I strongly believe social enterprises need to strike this balance from right day one to ensure that they don't compromise their mission. Yeah.
Speaking of scaling,
Yes.
what does scale mean for a social enterprise? Because we, as people who are looking at the profit side, we always talk about scale. And should it be the same kind of expectation of scale when it comes to a social enterprise? Is it one way of doing things, or it looks slightly different for a social enterprise?
Yeah, it's tricky for social enterprises, but the most instrumental thing, it's having a minimum standard for them to have with them, and that minimum standard, financial stability is really key for social enterprises. Like we've seen in the quiz, relying so much on donor, funding. So once the social enterprises establishes that once I get at least my first tech grant, that's all. I need to focus on either moving the journey of establishing my enterprise. This is enough revenue, other than going up and down looking for more funding, yet the grip, you've not gotten enough grip to run the fund. You get the point. Yeah, so I really believe that social enterprises need to have that minimum standard. Once I get probably the first grant, let me first focus on that. That will shoot you to the next level, other than having lots and lots, then you just meander around. Yeah.
Yeah, you say a very important point when it comes to focus for social enterprises. And I really want to touch on this because there is always buzz within the ecosystems like, oh, social enterprises are grantpreneurs. They are never focused. They are chasing after each and every grant. What would you comment about that based on your experiences? Because there is people who think this is what they're doing, but then there is you who is working with these enterprises, who is very familiar with their challenges, who is familiar with the kind of constraints when it comes to funding and all that. Do you think that is more common, or that is an isolated case of saying, oh, there is that one business that I think I've come across that is everywhere, or everyone is doing the same thing?
Yeah, so it's a common practice where social enterprises keep looking for more and more, fund, which wouldn't be a bad thing once you stabilize, because each grant comes with different ties and expectations, and a few social enterprises have, let me say, fully pledged administration roles. I've seen it from my experience. You find a social enterprise, it's only one or two people running all this work. They are the HRs, they are the program persons, they are the implementers, they are the finance, they are the M&Es. So you have lots of fund. Let's say you have 4 funding streams, and you have 2 different commitments. So you may lose it at the end of the day. You're calling someone, but he has a different arrangement with a given donor elsewhere, and yet also this side is needed. So at the end of the day, you have a lot with you, but you can't control. Yeah, so I really believe and strongly recommend, once you get your first probably funding stream, first focus on that before you take on to the other.
Okay, and I think I will move on to the topic of you now as Response Innovation Lab, and what you have done to ensure that you mitigate the jumping up and down to give these social enterprises, especially the ones that are like homegrown or grown at your lab, that are being incubated at your hub. What are some of those things that you have done to ensure that there are fewer cases of businesses running from one accelerator to another, or running after one grant, to ensure that there is some bit of focus and direction, and also results or impact that is realized at the end of the day? What have you done?
Yeah. So the first step that we've taken is to do thorough due diligence, where we look into right away from your finance that you have at the time of engagement with us, and 2, we go an extra mile of doing a due diligence of the entire team. The entire team, for example, if you have a board, we do a full due diligence for the entire board. And one thing that we've actually pulled out is getting in contact with a social enterprises which is manned by one person. In the past, it has really given us challenges. Like I've told you, the same person is the HR, is the M&E, he's the implementer, You
Guys,
can't
I think
do it
this
all.
is...
Yeah, you can't do it all. Yeah, I know people, social enterprises would say, I can't acquire, I can't facilitate, this role, but it's really wise for you not to mess up with all this work. You can't do all the work alone. Yeah. So with that, due diligence and ensuring that at least they come up with a proper structure, it's really very key for social enterprises to thrive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we've discussed extensively on funding, and it happens to be one of the biggest problems that they actually experience. So what would your recommendation be when it comes to funding? What should social enterprises go for? Because there are a lot of funds that are going around there, and you mentioned something about requirements or certain kind of concessions that will not be given to you. So what should these social enterprises look out for when they're trying to vet a potential investor or someone who is going to give them funding? Can we go for all that is available? Can we go for something that is easy? What do we need to look at if trying to find an investor or a funder?
Yeah, it's really key for social enterprises to really know right from their stage because if I know I'm at piloting stage or ideation, I would not get into contact with an organization that expects me to probably scale to a different region. That's a total accident for me. I'm going to crash my innovation or my business. But other than the resource envelope, if you first of all establish this is what I want this fund to move me from, let me say, one stage to another. It's really key. Forego the funding if it's just going to mess you up. Yeah, I really believe that's why I don't recommend people run from this fund to this fund. Just ensure that you've acquired this fund is to take you to one stage to another. Otherwise, you're going to get multiple funds, but they are doing the same thing, and you're just duplicating, effort. So you'll be stagnant in one stage for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've listened to this advice of let's not run from one accelerator to another. Let's try to do this and that. But we also want to know what are some of these enterprises that you have incubated that have grown from idea to market. Can you assure these people that you are giving them advice based on what you have seen in the market, people you have nurtured, people you have given advice to, and at the end of the day, they have heeded this advice and now they are successful. They're actually putting out products in the market that are serving the communities. Would like to hear some of these stories.
Yeah. We've worked with Safe Bango Technologies.
Guys, Safe Bango Technologies is here. At least he's able to tell us whether it is true or not. So
yeah, sure. And the fact is that we worked with Safe Bango Technologies, and he followed the right steps, not going into any other fund. Like I said previously, that once you have one fund, it helps you move from one stage to another. You're aiming at probably moving from, we started with Safe Bango from ideation. They had their technology within a mathematical set. You get that point? Yeah, but the constant capacity building, the seed grant that they received, they left Response Innovation Lab when they had their first prototype. And then they got into contact with GIZ, which funded their next prototype. You get the point? Otherwise, if they had gotten lots of money at a go, I don't think it was a solution to them. Yeah. Otherwise, they would do similar work, but for different entities. Just that. But now that they followed step by step, they worked with us from ideation. They got the seed grant. They went through our capacity building cohort. They were able to move from ideation. They got their first prototype. They piloted it. After that, that's when they moved on to GIZ and other funders. And as I talk, they are receiving their award in India, which is in early April.
Guys.
Yeah, it's really key to really fast focus, like I said, and even the exercise showed it that it's not the funding which is the problem, but your focus at the end of the day matters. So that's why I also said that social enterprises need to have a minimum standard of some of the risks that they need to take, because multiple opportunities come with different risks. Hassan is going to call you day and night and he will mess you up. You get the point? And you will hide. You'll have to hide. Probably you with Hive Colab, they also gave you some money. They are pressing
they
your
can't
neck.
hide. Yeah. They can't hide. We'll go after
of
them.
Of course they can't hide, but on a personal note, you'll find someone stressed out, a lot of commitments that they have to deliver with multiple sources. But if you focused on one and you say, you can easily pitch, actually, if you have, you've moved from one stage to another with, for example, Response Innovation Lab, it's easy for you to pitch to Hive Colab. This is the journey that I've taken with Response Innovation Lab, can you move me from this stage to another? So it's easier that way, and at the end of the day, you're creating that impact.
Yeah, so you talk about something very important, which is the catalytic support that happens as a result of knowing where to go if I need or I'm at this stage. What would you say is Response Innovations Lab's specialty when it comes to catalyzing these social enterprises? Would you say it is more of a funding, or would it be more of I am going to incubate and get you from an idea to prototype? Or you be like, if you have a good idea, if you have a good prototype, I am going to find you investors. What would be your specialty? And what should the social innovators in this room know you for? And how can they be able to reach out? Do you have any programs that are currently running that they could be part of? So yeah, I would like to hear more about that.
Thank you so much. So with Response Innovation Lab, we usually strike a balance between seed grants and capacity building. So with seed grants, it's always an annual call that we really put out, and we usually be specific on a given theme or thematic area. For example, if 2023 we did climate, 2024 we could do health and nutrition. So it keeps rolling. So we put out the call, people apply to the call of application, we select, we have a selection criteria, we select, and then we give the fund to the possible winners. We usually give about 4 people. But again, it doesn't stop on that. If we gave you the money, that's not the end of the day. We do support the social enterprises with capacity building, because if we want to maximize their social impact, we ought them to observe certain issues, for example, M&E, because at the end of the day, you have to show your proof of concept probably to the next donor or funder that you'll get into contact with. So we ensure that we move this whole journey with you. You track the right metrics. So at the end of the day, we also add into what we call safeguarding, because at the end of the day, we do want your idea not to suppress the people that you're going to serve. So that's why we expose you to the safeguarding parameters. And then intellectual property. Very many people out there don't know their intellectual property rights. You have a brilliant idea, you'll come here to this session, you just, in the networking, you discuss with someone, and someone will, go and duplicate. So what are your property, intellectual property rights? And then lastly, we do business development. So we walk through that whole journey with you till you're a best fit for the market. And that's why we are able to talk about, for example, Safe Bango that went through all this process.
So earlier in our casual conversation, we really touched on impact. And I remember you saying categorically that, impact does not really mean numbers. So if you can put it clearly to the audience today, what does impact mean in the context of Response Innovation Lab? What do you expect these social enterprises to be at the end of their engagement with you? Do you want them to have worked with 1,000 people? What are you looking for in terms of impact? And what does impact mean?
So in terms of impact, like I said, impact is not concerned about numbers. And during our pilots, we don't really give enormous targets. For example, we give targets of about 100 people. You're going to pilot with 100 people. So we really observe what are the 100 people doing, what kind of feedback are they giving you to establish or improve your innovation. So in that I mean that impact, we really focus so much on the human-centered design approach. Yeah. Is your innovation solving these people's problem or challenge at the end of the day? Yeah, rather than having, numbers, reaching out, you're producing very many bangles and giving out, but is it solving? So if we encompass human-centered design approach within the innovation, we are able to observe, oh, the clients are saying this, so we need to change this. Yeah, so probably impact for us, we really mean, from the human-centered design approach, we really mean what feedback are we getting from the clients that you're trying to serve. If they are really giving positive feedback and it also contributing to the improvement of your prototype, prototype development, so that's the impact, that's the angle we see our impact. Yeah, so we don't usually base on numbers that, oh, during the pilot we were able to reach 1,000 people, Yeah, so we really focus on 100, obtain their feedback, and the feedback is feeding into the development of your social enterprise at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Hassan. I think now we have an idea of what Response Innovation Lab does, and for them, what has been successful in terms of saying, okay, this is what a social enterprise means to us. This is the kind of impact that we want. We are just not chasing after numbers, because we want to really see change. Also, what kind of support are you going to get when you are part of the program? And I forget to say this, I don't know if you have any plans of working with Hive Colab on any projects and how that would look like, but I think we are more aligned than we're different. And I think we also serve as catalytic support for some of the startups that have come from your hub. And I think we mentioned a few, and we're, oh, that has been here, which is very essential for an ecosystem altogether. Now, I just want to know, do we have any questions from the audience? Do we have people who want to say something regarding the topic of social impact or social enterprises that you think Hassan can respond to or just add to the conversation that we've just had for the benefit of everyone else in the audience? Yes, yes, Nixon. I remember your name because you're winning.
Thank you. My question is, you talked about how you find someone is doing almost everything and you advise that they should at least have a structure, maybe HR and all those things. Yes, it sounds good and maybe necessary, but what if the person actually maybe doesn't have the resources to hire those extra people? What do you usually advise them to do? Thank you.
Yeah. So, because beginnings are always hard, we all believe that. Yeah, and you can't solve all problems. No man is an island, Yeah, it's always a necessity for you to have at least 2 co-founders or 1 co-founder, such that you can probably share ideas, because the way your opinion may not answer it all. And at Response Innovation Lab, we really believe we don't have the answers to everything. So in that process, we do get answers from the convening aspect. So if you're one, you will not have all the answers. You get the point. So you cannot work onto the puzzle alone. It's really hard. So it's all about you to really preach or pitch your idea to some other fellow, either youth, and you really co-found your idea, because at the end of the day, don't look at what you're getting. Yeah. Safe Bango Technologies, they started about 3 people, right? But at the end of our pilot, they were able to even employ, some casual workers. So it's really a hard start, but we really emphasize you don't have the answers all as an individual.
Yes, Paul.
Thank you so much. My name is Saul Cavalli. I work with Safe Bango Technologies, and I'm happy to have benefited from the Response Innovation Lab resources. The biggest takeaway is the few tools which helped us to make sure that we can track the performance of our innovations beside the Safe Bango bracelet, but also help us to identify the loopholes. Imagine 1,000 people having bracelets, and then they have a glitch. It means you have to bring them back, and that will be a loss. So with their support, they helped us to make the different changes. I have the products here, but my question goes to the two people out there. We talked about funding for the different social enterprises, and there are two people, and usually the work is a lot, but you have to employ people. My view is we are seeing a lot of different AI tools. Do you think, in your view, AI can actually go ahead and substitute some people you cannot have money to be able to afford them? And if it is yours, do you have an example of the different AI platforms that social business here can start using? Thank you so much.
Let's take a second one.
Yes. Anyone else who would like to contribute to the conversation? All right, I think we'll have this question and then he will go into his presentation after that. So kindly
Yeah, so according to the trend that we do have of AI, I strongly recommend, in my perspective, where I do see it, I really see AI as just a catalyst to the human, human support or effort that they can really deliver. Because why do I call it a catalyst? Because it's just like you're doing a background check or research, and then you, the people, really sit down and implement or, also challenge it. You get the point. So I cannot dwell 100% on AI, but it would rather be a catalyst or a research point for me. Yeah.
All right, I think if this is it, thank you so much. I think now we'll transition into your presentation. I think I'll leave you to it. Thank you so much, Hassan.
Yeah, thank you so much. Once again, I'm Hassan Senkumba, and I'm the meal coordinator for Uganda Response Innovation Lab. Unfortunately, it has failed to play in the presentation mode. However, I just wanted to give a background of who we are, Response Innovation Lab. So Response Innovation Lab is a global collaboration of 5 organizations. That is World Vision, Oxfam, Civic, Save the Children, and George Washington University. Then last year, we were recently joined by DRC, which is Danish Refugee Council. So that is the collaboration of Response Innovation Lab. So wherever Response Innovation Lab exists, it's hosted by any of these partners. So in Uganda, we are hosted by Save the Children. In Somalia, we are hosted by World Vision. So like that. So this is our presence within the world. So in green, it's where we have our country labs, Uganda, Somalia, Syria. And then we have some affiliates. So we have in Rwanda, we have what we call Kumwe Hub. Rwanda is our affiliate. We also have Jordan and Iraq. And then the ones in orange, those are pop-up activities. So we are trying to establish a few activities within those regions. Yeah, so what was the goal of this collaboration? So the primary goal of this coalition or collaboration was, how do we tackle humanitarian challenges? Everyone was coming with handouts. Oh, it's lack of food, World Vision, food. Oh, Save the Children, food. You get the point. So at the end of the day, the idea was, let's tackle humanitarian challenges, but using innovation. This is more sustainable than giving handouts. So that was the primary goal of why Response Innovation Lab came into play. And we have 4 core functions that we really ride on our work. One is to map and convene. So we have a mapping tool called SMILE, Systems for Management Information for Labs Evidence. So we map different ecosystem actors, right from donor actors, UN, INGO, local NGOs, CBOs, and startups. So I'll really be happy to get all your organizations or startups, and I'll be putting into this mapping system. Some of the benefits of being into this platform, we keep sharing funding opportunities for startups. In case you acquire one, we share with you as soon as they come, we share with you. You do apply. If you do want some proposal development support that you do need, you place in a clinic, we then support you. 2, we do support. So under support, we do 2 types of support. We do seed grants, where we do put out a call in a given thematic area, then we give out a seed grant for you to pilot your work within the refugee response. Under support, we still provide support under capacity building in the areas of monitoring and evaluation, safeguarding, intellectual property, and business development. And then 3, we do what we call matchmaking and brokery. For example, Sol, Safe Bango, it does not end if we pilot or we get in contact with you. It does not stop on that. We keep amplifying your innovation or your work to the entire ecosystem. We've seen lots of people that we've connected to different ecosystem actors for further support. And then lastly, we generate and share evidence to the ecosystem. For example, if we piloted your innovation with you, we write our evaluation reports and really share with the ecosystem. Yeah, so those are our 4 core functions: mapping and convening, support, matchmaking and brokery, and then evidence generation and gathering. Yeah, so I would really want to take you through a simple tool. So at Response Innovation Lab, like Sol said, so we have a toolkit. It's an online toolkit where we do support different startups. Ecosystem actors can also use it. It's a free tool. It's on our website. You just go to www.responseinnovationlab and access it. So it's called Shine It, Social Humanitarian Innovators Necessary Evidence and Information Toolkit. So what is this tool? So we thought it was wise that we saw that there's a gap in gathering evidence for different work streams of different innovators. So we thought it was wise. We came up with 5 tools: the Innovation Journey Roadmap, the Feedback Tool, the Data Management Tool, Ethics Tool, and then the Pivot Diary. So what is the Innovation Journey Roadmap? So every organization or every startup, every social enterprise, at the end of the day, there are certain goals that you are looking at attaining. So in the innovation journey, this is mirroring what we call the theory of change. Right from problem definition, you've identified there's a problem in this community, but what social impact at the end of the day are you trying to look out at? So this tool helps you to really develop that innovation journey and show at the end of the day the impact that you're trying to achieve. So that is followed by the data management tool. So within the innovation journey roadmap, you're able to develop your activities, your indicators that you really want to see at the end of the day at each stage of the innovation. So we have about 5 stages: the problem definition stage, the ideation stage, the piloting stage or prototyping, and scaling stage. So at each stage you have different indicators that you want to see. At scale, you want to see the social impact of your innovation or your work. So we have indicators that you can develop within this journey. So this tool, data management tool, helps you to capture data in line with the indicators that you developed. Then the ethics checklist. So we also thought that very many enterprises, for example, do not have the experience and expertise to go tap into the refugee response. There are some ethics that you ought to observe when you enter into the refugee response, or even within the thematic area that you're serving. So we expect you to observe these ethics, and it's a self-administered tool that you can look to and say, oh, I'm Safe Bango Technologies, but I need to observe, consult users of my tool. So out of 4, what is your score? So this is a self-administered tool that you need to use, and it gives you at least areas of improvement and guides you where am I performing well, where am I performing poorly. Then we have what we call the pivot diary. So this is a simple tool to use. If you have any work that you're doing or any innovation, it helps you track the changes within your work. Let's say if you're working on an innovation which is more of capturing, for example, protection data, and then you receive feedback from the users that, oh, your tool, when you press it, it takes long to respond. So in the pivot diary, you're supposed to say, to track that change. For example, I got this information about my innovation. So I'm going to change the time response to my innovation. And what the change lead you to. So it helps you track that. So by using all these tools, it helps you tell a clear innovation journey. You see what we mean by this. So that's why if you use this toolkit, at the end of the day you came to a potential donor, you get the point. This is where I started from. At this stage, this was our aim. This is what we achieved. At this stage, this was our goal. This is what we achieved. Someone really feels you have it all. You have the potential to be supported. You have the data to base on to do any other work stream. So with this, if you want to access this, so you just go to www.responseinnovationlab.com, and then you go to the toolkit section. You'll find this. Secondly, what I didn't mention, if you really need support with this toolkit, you can always place in a clinic, and we shall always support you on how to use the toolkit. So let me just flash for you one of our mapping tools that we do have. Oh yeah, it's taking ages to connect. Yeah, so anyway, this is our mapping tool. It's called SMILE, Systems Management Information for Labs and Evidence Database. So with this database, you can at any one point see different actors within the ecosystem. So it has 3 tabs. So we have the ecosystem tab, the innovation tab, and the Incovina tab. However, focus is so much onto these. This is more of internal. We are trying to work on it to make it more also useful to the external public. But with the ecosystem tab, when you click it, it will show you different actors that we've really mapped around the Uganda ecosystem. So when you click onto any of these, it will show you what this ecosystem actor is, what they do, what is their boundary or capacity in terms of implementation. Then the primary thematic areas that they do implement in, and then what type of organization are they, and then the districts that they do cover. In case they're in the refugee response, it will show you the different refugee settlements where this organization operates. So we do map this on a daily basis, and we keep updating or refining according to the context. So this is the ecosystem tab. So when you go onto the innovation tab, so this tab helps you to see the different innovations that are around the ecosystem. So let's say if you want innovations around health, we have filters here. You may say you want innovations within the settlement level, and they are doing probably, let me say, inclusion. So it helps you do that search. Yeah, however, we don't have that as yet. Yeah, but at a national level, these are the ones that we've so far mapped. So you can also clear the filters, and then you can also go back. So this tool helps you to do a data entry, a self-data entry. So we have an instruction tab here that helps you to do the data entry. And I'm going to show you the part of doing a data entry. So we have the data entry form here. So you can go into the organization data tab, and then you can be able to do a self-registration. So this is also found on our website, but purposes of being on this, what are the importances of being on this tool? So like I said, when we have a call for application, funding, this is where we extract information. We want people from health. I just go sieve out people in health, share the call for application. And then if also we usually get requests, hello Response Innovation Lab, do you have people that are doing, let's say, entrepreneurship or livelihoods? This. So with that, those are some of the benefits of being onto this. So we also have a Power BI display, which shows, like, in terms of statistics, how does the Uganda ecosystem look like? So it's going to show you in terms of summary type. Yeah, so this is the summary of what the ecosystem looks like. So we have classifications. If you want actors in knowledge, innovation support, those that are implementing, government, finance, or that are in the private sector, you just go onto this and click. For example, I want people in knowledge. It will give you the entire list. So it's easy to play around with. We have a filter pen or filter pan on this side. So you can always filter what kind of organizations are you looking at. You only want national. So the filters will be able to support you with that. And then lastly, in terms of organization data, it shows you the summary of what amount of data is within the ecosystem. So this is the summary of, so we've so far mapped 705 NGOs, for profit 371, social enterprises 249. Yeah, so this is Smile. Feel free to explore it in your free time. Yeah, and in cases you have any challenge, you can always reach out to Response Innovation Lab. Yeah, so thank you so much. One last one, when you go onto this platform, so the public, you have to go onto home. This is more of internal logins, but you just go to the home tab, and then you can do whatever you want. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you have any question, I'm here to answer. Yes.
Thank you. Different startup ecosystem players have certain areas, certain sectors where they focus on. So do you also have specific sector where you focus on? Like say, for us, we want only people in agriculture, or we only want only tech people. If you're into agriculture, we don't want you. So what sector do you specialize in? Thank you.
Yeah, so we don't have a specific sector that we focus on. Like I said, it's on a running basis. This year we could focus on health. The next year we focus on climate, and the other year we focus on, let's say, entrepreneurship, according to the demands of probably also the funders that we also get into contact with. So it also guides of who we do get in contact with. However, for capacity building, it's really open, whether you're in health, livelihoods, whatever sector. Just put in your request, we just sieve out. But we usually have a cohort of 20 per year, so we are not context specific. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah. So if there's no other question, I'm really here up to when I'll be told that they are either locking the building, but keep bringing the questions. I'll be around here interacting with you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hassan, for sharing your insights and also telling us more about what Response Innovation Lab does. I'm sure now you have been able to understand what kind of opportunities they have and offers, and I'm hoping that from today's sessions you're able to look at what you can take advantage of as part of their running programs. So otherwise, thank you so much for joining us for today's Founders Cafe. And I think I will re-echo what everyone else has said. This platform is for founders. So we want you to be as active as possible in making sure that you shape how it is attended, how people turn up at the end of the day. If you have friends who are within the same circles and are involved in the fundraising, involved within the ecosystem that are fundraising, that are looking for programs for catalytic support, this is one of the areas that you can be able to access such opportunities. So I think I'll let Caro. Caro, I don't know if, do you have an announcement or anything, or should we close off and I ask the guys to go have their tea? Okay, hold on. A minute, please. So the other thing, I've been told that there are still 4 notebooks for people to win, and Hassan can feel free to ask questions based on his presentation. If you remember what he said about something, then you may win yourself a notebook.
Yeah. So are we ready? Are we ready to get free notebooks around? I have 4 notebooks from Response Innovation Lab. Who is ready? All of us. Yeah, so I'm going to ask, who can tell me the 4 core functions of REAL? No, Sol won't answer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The notebook is here with me. Mm-hmm. Who want to? Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, so he has given us 2, and matchmaking and brokery is one of our functions. Then the other one of seed grants, he has been so specific to one of our functions. You get the point? So we have the support function. So the support function, under the support function, is where we have the seed grants. But yeah, but I think you really deserve a notebook. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. And how many functions do we have? How many are they? How many functions does Response Innovation Lab have? Yes? There are 4 core functions. I'm still going to go back on to what are these 4 core functions? The next one, to win the notebook, I want you to probably list the 4. Or if you listed the other 2 that were not given out by the former winner. Uh-huh. That one has already been mentioned. Uh-huh, you're there, but let me consider it learning and sharing. Uh-huh. Because it's just English. You're there, so give me the second last one that they didn't mention. Ladies, where are you? The next notebook is for a lady, please. Yeah, but I'll give you your notebook. It's evidence gathering and sharing, okay? And when you open this notebook, you have the 4 core functions in here. Yeah, so please come and take your notebook. So the other question is going to, ladies, please come on board. Which question can I ask such that ladies take a notebook? What is real in full? Yeah. Please. Who is our host in terms of, I mentioned very many, the collaboration, the real collaboration, World Vision, ABCD. In Uganda, who is our host? Oh, okay. Please. You got your notebook. Please come for it. Yeah, thank you so much. And it's been an honor for you to really come to this session. Yeah, thank you so much. And one thing, just as a recommendation, other than outside Response Innovation Lab, we are all youth, and this is the way forward. We are seeing what is going around the world. You know, the donor environment is really shrinking day and night. So I just urge you to keep doing what you're doing, such that you're the next Save the Children's Response Innovation Labs. Nixon, you've been taking us speed here in the game. So keep doing what you're doing, and one day we shall see Nixon on probably TV, or we shall see Nixon on Hive Colab here at Hive Colab, being, launching his either social enterprise. So let's keep doing what we're doing. Yeah, thank you so much.